Hey everyone, my name is Nicole Clark with the QA and compliance team at HealthPro Heritage, and today I have the pleasure of talking to Val McIntyre. She is one of our QA and compliance team members and works very closely with me. She's based out of New York, and as part of her job, she does a lot of audits. I know we've talked about this before on the page, but I think that it bears mentioning again. It's something that we can always get better at, but I wanted to really pick her brain about something we've talked about a lot, skilled daily notes, because this is what we do every day, right? We are always writing a daily note. And I think, personally, they can be challenging, and they've been challenging for me in the past because of a couple of different factors, right? So first, we have so much to do in a day. It's hard to get everything done, whether you're a program manager or, clinician, just trying to get those treatments in. The daily notes are the last thing we want to ever think about, right? And then sometimes we really kind of have a hard time switching up what we're doing and changing our approaches with patients because of a variety of factors. Maybe we get in a rut, or maybe we just have somebody who's a little more challenging, or maybe we are changing it in some small incremental ways, but we're not really documenting those changes very effectively. And then our notes end up looking repetitive, right? So that sometimes means then our notes don't sound skilled when what we're actually doing with the patients are. So, and then sometimes finally, I think we just struggle with what to write. Like, we know what we've done, but then just getting it down on paper, right, is sometimes a problem. So, Val, when you're looking at these daily notes, what's one of the most common issues you see in regards to daily notes in the audits that you do?
I do a lot of audits, so I do have to say I'm seeing a lot of repetitive daily notes. So meaning, like, we're documenting the same exercises and activities every day without any variation. And the progress notes, they're adding the same exact details, so there really is no difference between the two.
Right.
I think that we need to see more patient-specific daily notes, meaning how are the exercise being modified based on the underlying impairments? What parameters are we discussing and why, and how are we choosing them and why? How is pain impacting some of the exercises that they're performing on the patients? What teach back is happening, meaning specifically patient education. What's the response to it? And what's the functions that's being addressed and how?
Right. So lack of function in our daily notes and lack of therapist involvement, right? It's all about what the patient did, none about what the therapist did. Yeah. What's another top issue for you when we're talking about daily notes and looking at those?
Another one for me would have to be the minutes not really supported by the documentation. So that is another example. So we might be billing for 60 minutes worth of treatment, but the documentation shows some basic exercises and interventions. For example, if you're ambulating 50 feet with contact guard assist, like those are the things that I'm seeing, or completing both lower extremity exercises times 10, transfer trainings with max assist times 2. So the documentation isn't really supporting the minutes that are being billed, and what exercises should be there for how long it took them to do it. So, it really is taking them less time to do that. Like, they really should be documenting more for it. And so, meaning that they're just writing that minimal detail doesn't really justify 60 minutes worth of bill. That little note could have taken 30 minutes.
Right. Like, we don't necessarily have to see we did exercises for this many minutes and then we walked for this many minutes. But we do have to have enough in our notes, right, to really show, yeah, I can kind of see where that might have taken an hour, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And if we're only documenting that basic stuff, then yeah, you're right. That could have taken half as long. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks. We appreciate Val's time today. Thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions or concerns about your daily notes or want some additional tips, we actually have some great tools, as hopefully you all know by now. You can go to our file section in this page if you're one of our members and get to things like our daily note guide with examples. We have a ton of actual examples on there that can be great starting points and maps for your daily documentation. We've got a therapist progress report and UPOC guide with examples. That's a great way to show. She mentioned the progress notes a little while ago. Those also really need to be way more detailed than they tend to be, and provide additional information that maybe don't go in our daily notes or analysis that maybe we're missing. So that's a great guide to go to. And we have a variety of other tools as well. If you're a Health Pro Heritage clinician, you can get to those same tools in company documents or your iPads. They're available on there too without the need for a login. So go check those out if you haven't checked them out today. Thank you so much, Val. Appreciate it. And let us know if you have any questions. Happy documenting.